Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, agents. I'm Manny Carl. On today's Let's Talk, we are going to discuss named weapons, an integral part of the game that could add an additional boost to the game. Now, I was going to go over gear sets, but I want to focus in on this part of the game because I think it's very, very much an integral part of the game, and people would come back for this epic loot that I'm going to give you and we're going to talk about. But first things first, the latest from my good friend and fake news correspondent Alvin, who writes today's headline, "In Tom Clancy's The Division nearing its end, constant server shutdowns seem to prove it." Now, at the behest of some of my viewers, I have given up absolutely wrecking Alvin every time he decides to make one of these fake headlines, and I'm going to take the high road this time. I read through his article and to my chagrin, found zero information about the server shutting down or anything to the fact to substantiate the website's news heading. So I have gone ahead and given up on giving these people any actual views and decided that I'm going to go ahead and just do a full expose on their company and how the company like this is just shilling fake news for views. I have asked for a full list of the people employed by this company and will do my research to either expose this site for being a fake and delivering fake news, or expose this company for making up fake news for profitable gains. I am sure Ubisoft and Massive wouldn't mind a nice defamation suit against a game like that for drawing Division members away with a fake newsline like constant servers shutting down, which I have no idea what it is, but I will do my full due diligence for making this website answer for all of the fake news that has been shilling about the Division, because it's not that it's shilling fake news, because the news story is legit. Like, the news story is actually real. It's the headlines that are legit, and they're basically doing the bait and switch that, it's clickbait. But even clickbait has some merit in some way. So now today, let's just go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and just move away from that. Alvin, screw you if you're listening to this, but I need to do what I need to do. But you guys need to stop doing the fake headline thing. Honestly, Alvin, this is it. This is your last chance. I'm just warning you now. Stop doing it, or I'm going to expose you for the fraud that you are. So today we are going to be covering actual news and, actual topics that you guys want to hear about, and that is, we are going to help boost this game and bring it back to its full glory. With that being said, let's jump into named weapons. If you listen to any of my previous videos on this, you know how I feel about the current state of the weapons in the game. It is not hard to see that named weapons were not meant to be the best weapons in the game, but they should be. Like Hamish said in the State of the Game, they should be. These should be the desirable weapons that you want to use. They should be the rarest of the rare items and the most desired out of the weapons, but right now they are not. And I blame, going all the way back to day one when the game first was released, I blame that day. And if you were here on that day, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the events surrounding the day one or even week one, enter the Midas. And I know everybody has gotten at least one Midas, or maybe not everybody, but most people. The best weapon in the game at launch was the Midas. This weapon included a perk which is no longer in the game and was removed because using the Midas ultimately got you unlimited supers. You could use the Midas to either keep your super going for a huge amount of time, or you could recharge it super fast, allowing you to just pop it over and over again. It was literally the ultimate wrecking machine, and people complained about it from day one that it was breaking the game. And that's the sad part. It was game breaking and an omen of things to come. It was nerfed almost immediately within that first week and given a normal set of perks, bringing it down to regular human levels and no longer superhuman levels. This was the catalyst for all named weapons being how they are today. However, some easy changes, we can resolve this and get them back on track. Now, I'm going to go into this actually a lot deeper than I had anticipated, but let's go ahead and we're just going to go ahead and see where this takes us. Weapons of this caliber should have increased damage and/or increased rate of fire, something that sets these named weapons apart. If the perks are to be random or randomized, boosting damage, rate of fire, or accuracy is a must. If we want to make the weapons on par with other weapons in the game, but make them unique, give them perks that no other gun has, or a combination of perks that make them super great weapons. Like, make it so that the M1A has a god roll on it, and you give it a named weapon, and no other M1A could ever get those roles. But for example, let's just go ahead with this, the Historian. It's a classic M1A. It should be actually a bolt-action rifle. As the name indicates, it may be an older stock and maybe have some class to it. It's called the Historian for a reason, right? It should be on par or better with, I'd say, an M44 rifle. Like, it should be an M44 rifle. Secondly, we need to give it perks that would be awesome for this class of weapon. Brutal should be the first and foremost. So not only does it need to have the best in headshot damage at, say, 200% or even 175, because I think the max is 160 or 165, but it should have more headshot damage as the bonus on this weapon. But you should also get additional boosts to the perks, and a perk that complement it. And brutal on a named weapon should be between 26 and 28% increased headshot damage, since the max right now is like 25 for a 229 gear score. Next, we should figure out what we want this weapon to do. Since it's a sniper rifle or marksman rifle, as we call it in the game, it should have accuracy on it, and not just regular accuracy, but balanced 2.0, which is to say the balanced perk the way it was before the nerf. This made weapons almost, the M1A, it made it unstoppable. This would make the gun a beast. Like, it would be beastly to have brutal 200% headshot damage and an increase for 28% to headshot damage with the balanced perk. Finally, to finish it off, we want the damage. So we need to give it deadly. Make it increase the critical hit damage on it for like a 25% boost. Just make this gun the absolute beastly thing that you could possibly make it. And what I just described to you is a gun that would be so beastly even at normal damage. A gun people would go after and play the game until they got. And guess what? It should be an epic gun, and there should be an epic quest to get, and it should come with an epic quest line to get it. In fact, this gun shouldn't even drop anywhere in the game. And right now it actually doesn't. You just buy it from the vendor, and that's garbage, and the gun in the game right now is garbage. So these name weapons drop too frequently, the ones that do, at 0.5% for my taste, and I think that it's ridiculous that people can get them without any skill at all. It takes zero ability or zero know-how to get these weapons. You usually need to know where to go, and it takes luck to get these guns. It's a random drop, and the way we should get them is through an epic quest line. So imagine walking into the boo one day and Fei Lao looking at you sexy in her blood-stained cyclops eye. She says to you, "We found a piece of shade tech today, Agent. The LMB has found several pieces and are using them to build their own shade tech, and we need to stop them. I need you to go into the underground and look for pieces of shade tech the LMB may have down there." So now you have your first quest, and you go down there and you are tasked with doing an underground hard mode with 5 directives in order to get that shade tech part. Now, I say that this is a hard mode, and I said, we need to do an epic quest line, and you're like, that's not very epic, Monte Carlo. But no, it is epic because you can do it solo. That is the point. We want solo players and regular players to be able to do it. So you can do it in a group, or you can do it solo. And doing hard mode with 5 directives, A, it makes it so you have to be a certain level, and B, you have to have a certain number of time put into the game to activate these quests before you get it. Now, you bring it back after you finish it to Fei Lao. She looks at you, you look at her in her one good eye, you share a moment, and she says, "You need to take this to Paul Rhodes. He'll know what the next step is, but it's not good what you found down there, Agent. However, you could take it to Captain Benitez as well. He may have a different take on it, and I also saw something similar in Jessica Kendall's lab. Take it to whoever you want to work with, and be quick because we don't have much time." So now you would be able to take one of these, or this piece, to one of the 3 characters in the game, and they would send you on different quests to assemble the one epic weapon masterpiece you want in the game. And each weapon you build would be tied to, maybe we could tie it to gear set, potentially, or not. Let's just go ahead and forget about that for now. That's really an interesting thing though, but for this we'll just leave it as a named weapon that you want. Now, depending on who you take it to, it would determine the outcome and the rules of the perks on the weapon. If you take it to Roy, it's going to be focused on DPS. If you take it to Paul, it's going to focus on some technical aspect and maybe give you a boost to your skill set or your skill power of the weapon. And then you take it to Jessica Kendall, and it's going to focus on stamina and the defensive side of weapon building. Now, once you complete the 20 to 30 parts of this epic quest to build this awesome weapon. You take those parts to the weapon stand and you assemble it into the weapon of your dreams. Now, the quest and objectives you choose will determine the actual weapon, but users' playstyle will actually determine what weapon you get. So during the quest, if you want the showstopper, you'll have the objective to complete the shotgun quest. You might have to kill 15 shotgunners with a shotgun or something along those lines, but the quest is going to play to your play style that you're used to. So if you use mainly an assault rifle, you're going to get like quest for an assault rifle, and you're going to finish those quests normally by using an assault rifle. If you focus on using a sniper rifle, you're going to focus on using a sniper rifle, and at the end of that, you're going to finish these easily by using the playstyle that you choose. If you use a lot of skills, it might be something else, but really what you're doing is you're going through, and these quest lines are going to finish up a set of objectives, and at the end, you are going to assemble the weapon that fits your playstyle the most, and it's going to be gifted to you. Now, users probably won't know, we won't tell them like what the playstyle is or how to get them, but it's just going to come naturally, and it's going to focus on that. And if you want to try out different playstyles while you're doing it, you're going to end up with different results. Now, my main point is that the quest for these should be and will be epic and give you a reward that is beyond anything that you have seen in this game. Something that solo players and groups can do alike. You can do these solo or you can do it in a group. You want that hungry hog that desires the blood of your enemies to constantly heal you in battle. The showstopper that has the ability to stagger enemies 100% of the time, no matter how many times you shoot them with no cooldown. The ultimate G36, we'll call it the Blitzkrieg for now, for its super high rate of fire and armor shredding ability. Then these quests are going to be the #1 priority that you do, and they should take a long time to get. And I'm not talking about hours or completing them in one sit-down session. I'm talking about Uncle Varric's levels. I'm talking Touch of Malice levels time to get, like things that are going to take like weeks or months to get them. Like they should start at survival, and by the time like a couple weeks go by, you should be able to pick up this weapon eventually. To get the best, you gotta beat the best, and the quest line would be the best the game has to offer, and it wouldn't end it just one time through. You could probably do multiple times, or we could do multiple character times and get multiple weapons, although you can only have one equipped at a time. Much like the exotics in Destiny, you can only have one of these equipped at a time. Now, sadly, I have used up all of my time, so I gotta close things out right now. But how awesome would this be? Something to help both groups and solo players complete something epic for something epic and super OP. Like these would be super OP. Like people would be crying about these when paired with right gear sets and stuff in the Dark Zone. You know, you'd go through and shred some people in the PvE. It would help alleviate the damage that is being caused by the enemies in the underground, stuff like that. And these weapons would help you get through that. We wouldn't even need to drop the enemy armor or anything like that, because these weapons would shred and people would desire to have you in their group. And it would be even better because we could make it so that you could work with other people that have different guns, and it would provide different perks, and it would be awesome. So the missions would have time bucks. So this would ensure that you filthy casuals could do it once a day or once a week and still keep up, because Fei Lao would need to analyze the parts and whatnot, come back in a couple days, and she said, "Damn it, woman, give us some answers," you would scream as you log in, only to find her with no additional news until the next day when you log in and the next piece of the quest is available. So maybe if we make this game out of the assembly of the weapon, it would be fine too. But you know, you screw it up and you get a bad roll on it. But I'm only kidding about that. Hey, anything will help right now. So thank you again for watching. We'll be back with another Let's Talk tomorrow about gear sets, and I'm going to go ahead and slate my Aaron Keener review for Friday toward the end of the week. So for all of us here at the Division Let's Talk, I am Matty Carl, and we'll see you at Fei Lao's desk asking for an epic questline. Agent out.